2000. Just before I came to work for the county.
Wouldn't make a very good Missouri Synod Lutheran. You don't change seats, period.
Yeah, everyone shows up to church and someone's mad when a newcomer comes and sits in their spot.
They are not that bad, but it is kind of interesting. You're just like, I'm on the wrong side here. This feel right.
I tell people mix it up. As you get older, you're gonna fall into slots and your goal is to stay out of them. Because it's so easy to get, I'm such a creature of habit that you can't handle change.
That ship has sailed.
Well, but there's no
changes like death and taxes.
So you're always going down river. The question is, are you going to pour backwards a little bit and keep your ground a little?
Just pray there's no waterfalls between you and the ocean.
Yeah, well, sometimes ignorance is bliss too.
When I was in high school, I was on a road crew team, and we rode on the Snohomish River.
Oh boy.
And right where it goes out in the Puget Sound, and so the tide would affect. But in order to, you have seats, and so we'd race. You'd have an 8-man boat with 6 guys with their oars flat on the water, and only 2 pulling. And it was basically who lost the least ground of the current. But you'd have 2 boats side by side, and you'd race, and then you'd swap, and you'd race again, and that current would just kill some people.
Just doing some fishing in the southern part of the sound. It's kind of weird how that current.
Yep.
We got operators
throughout the.
Yeah. They're entertaining.
Oh yeah. It wasn't
Oh shoot, is it include McKinstry again? Because I saw it McKinstry.
When I was down there,
They chose not to
but not like
renegotiate a contract.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
yeah.
But they are touring around.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice. Are you guys doing some irrigation system testing? There's a bunch of sprinklers on during the day today that I've never seen before.
We are normally like by JML in certain areas, we pull hoses and we run.
General question.
Specific automated irrigation system.
Are they becoming
on 6th Street?
Let me know if they do.
Okay. I don't know. Right next to the field, about 100 yards.
Yeah,
They like,
and I'm hoping they're about wrapping up.
Yes, across the street. Yeah. No, further this way, further west.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just off the field. Yeah, I didn't know if they were doing daytime water in there or what.
Yes.
We do some
Things like the
That's just your hand stuff, right?
Yeah.
moving equipment that's most noticeable.
Yeah, there's no way to make them quiet.
Yeah.
You don't want them quiet. They have running for people.
So, Tyler, we do have a forum.
Okay, and we're within a minute. All right. I just snuck in under the wire, didn't I?
Out there lollygagging and going to
Yeah, just out there partying, man.
hanging with my dog again.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't want to. Tied up this time.
I bet she could get out of it.
Leave her in the sun.
No, she's got a sunshade and she's in the pickup and windows down. She's a friendly dog.
Actually, we allow dogs.
We have a special PBAC meeting sometimes where you bring your dog. No, probably not see it. People will try that.
Yeah. Tie that up for sure.
Real friendly.
And I'm gonna give it a minute as people sign on.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then schedule that sometime.
Seeing chance here in person. How is Jason doing? I haven't seen that guy in a while.
He cornered me yesterday. He said, "You're going to the meeting, right?" Yes.
He's doing pretty good.
He's doing
Good. Okay. All right, we are gonna go ahead and get rolling. We've got a quorum, and we've got plenty of stuff on the agenda to keep us busy. So, welcome to the July PBAC meeting. Already July. Wow. We have as the first item our introductions. I'm Tyler Palmer, current PBAC chair and Moscow representative to the committee, and let's go counterclockwise today.
Mixing it up.
Mixing it up, keeping everyone on the toes.
Mark Story, Whitman County Public Works.
I'm Mike Falpel, PBAC Executive Director.
Aaron Kislani, Water Conservation Project Coordinator.
Good. Oh, I'm Isaac Hall, PhD student at the University of Idaho.
Jeff Langman, UI Earth Sciences.
And to be confusing, Jeff Lanigan. I'm the with WSU Facility Services and Vice Chair for.
You each have got emails from me intended for the other one.
Yeah.
Lana Cohen, University of Idaho Water Scientist.
Chad Wetzel, Whitman County Commissioner.
Connie McCall, interested friend of PBAC.
Rusty Vineyard, U of I Facilities.
All right, let's jump online and start with Mr. Wells.
Sean Wells, Public Works Director, City of Pullman.
Great. And Luke?
Luke Kawano, Source Water Protection Specialist, Idaho Rural Water.
Great. David?
David Hall, Latah County citizen.
Thanks for joining us, David. Kyle?
Yeah, good afternoon. Kyle Steele. I'm the Environmental Services Manager with the City of Moscow.
Kara?
Yeah, Kara Haley, City of Pullman, City Engineer.
Thanks, Kara. Steve?
Steve Robichon, PBAC Technical Advisor.
Great. Patrick?
Yep, Patrick Cabbage, Washington State Department of Ecology.
Thanks for joining us, Patrick. Chris?
Chris Beard, Washington State Department of Ecology.
Great. And I've got a number ending in 1306 on the line.
Probably Scott.
That's Scott King. Hello.
Hi, Scott. Go ahead. We're just doing
project manager for project engineer for HDR Engineering.
Great. Thanks for joining us, Scott.
You're welcome.
All right. I think that was everyone. The next item on our agenda is the approval of the May minutes. You'll recall that we did not hold the June meeting, and so the May minutes are our most current meeting minutes that we have for approval. So Mike sent those out with the packet for this meeting.
Everybody needs them. I've got them.
I think I'm not on the email list for these anymore.
We'll make sure you get on there.
What's going on with that?
Yeah. Thank you.
And we've now been joined by Mr. Paul Kimmel, who's a Latah County rep in Avista.
Had to get the back nine in, sorry.
Hey, you gotta have priority.
I wouldn't blame you if you did.
Well, we're just on meeting minute approval for the May meeting. If does anyone have any proposed edits? Otherwise, I'd entertain a motion for approval.
Motion to
approve.
I got a motion by Lana, second by Jeff. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, the May meetings stand approved. Next item on the agenda is public comment for any items that aren't on the agenda to be considered before the committee. Okay, hearing none, we are going to move past unfinished business as we don't have anything on there, and we're going to get to new business. The first item that we have under new business is our PBAC officer elections and appointments of subcommittee chairs. Some of the older folks on the committee, and I mean that both by age and by participation duration. Hey, I gotta include myself in that, Paul. Will recall that we instituted subcommittees about a decade ago, and that's been a very helpful way to keep PBAC's work moving along and also to position the members of the committee according to strength. And it's helped us keep these meetings more condensed because we're not trying to do, for example, lengthy discussions on outreach or lengthy discussions on technical matters. We're able to have the committees distill those and then bring it to subcommittees, distill those and bring it to the committee. So that's been effective. Our bylaws call for elections typically in June. We knew that sometimes summer meetings get canceled, and so we made that a should instead of a shall when we redid the bylaws several years ago. And so this is the meeting that we will be doing our elections. So the term of the officers is a 2-year term, so it would be from July 1st through June 30th. and so we will be, so really our process is relatively simple. We take nominations. If those people accept nominations, then we move forward. If we have more than one nominee for a position, then we'll move it to a vote for voting members of the committee, and then we will assign a chair, a vice chair, and then past chair is also an officer within our structure. And then after we have the officers in place, then we will make assignments for subcommittee chair people. Am I missing anything? Does that seem to sum it up?
Sounds about right.
Okay. Mike, anything else we need to mention?
That's it.
Does anyone have any questions about process and procedure on this before we open the floor for nominations? Okay, well, let's go ahead and just open the floor for nominations and get this thing done.
I would suggest we consider retaining the current slate of chair, vice chair.
Okay.
Although I haven't heard your stump speech. Go assess it.
Oh man, can I do it in song?
That would be preferred.
Make a musical out of it.
Jeff, are you willing to continue in a vice chair role?
I am.
Okay, and I'm willing to continue in a chair role. I think in some ways I'm gonna have to be pretty involved over the course of the next year and a half with the alternate supply project being administered by the city of Moscow. So I would accept the nomination if that's the will of the committee. Any other nominations? Come on.
I would normally make that motion.
right.
I'm in support of you guys continuing if you're up for it.
Okay, we've got a motion from Paul on the table.
I'll second it.
Get a second from Kara. And this is so all voting members on this one, all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Aye.
Any opposed? 2 more years, Jeff.
Let's do it.
Well, okay.
Congratulations. Now we get to hear speeches.
Thanks, Sean. Yeah. Now begins my reign of unrighteous dominion. Okay, next we've got assignment of technical committee chair that I'd like to get that hammered out. Jeff has been serving as technical committee chair as the vice chair. That doesn't mean that he has to continue in that role. We can have somebody else take over as technical committee chair. Open it up for any discussion that people have.
I'm willing to continue in that role if
I think
that's acceptable.
Yep, I think that's a great idea.
I'm willing to let Jeff continue too. Thank you, Jeff.
Thank you.
All right. Well, that one actually doesn't need a vote. That's just an assignment. And so we'll continue with that assignment and appreciate your willingness to do that, Jeff. That's been a very helpful subcommittee. Our next subcommittee assignment is for the communication subcommittee. Paul has served as chair for the last several rounds on the communication subcommittee. I think given Paul's experience and background with this, it makes a lot of sense. If Paul's willing to continue with that, I'd love to see him do it.
Sure, I have a few demands.
Okay, all right.
Wait. No, I'm happy to do it. Yeah, especially we're just coming into a really critical season.
Yeah, this is going to be heavy.
And all good stuff.
Okay. Any other thoughts on communications? And we will continue with Mr. Kimmel in that role. This is going to be a real boring thing, I suppose, because I would also recommend that we keep Rusty Vineyard as chair of the budget committee. I think that with the U of I holding our financial accounts, again, those of us who've been around for a while know how much smoother that process has gotten under Rusty's tenure. He's really been able to help us navigate those processes really effectively. So it seems to make a lot of sense to me to continue to have him do that if he's willing.
Enable.
Any other thoughts on that? All right, Mr. Vineyard, thank you.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, everybody. As Paul said, we're at a critical juncture here, and I'm really excited. I think that we've got some incredible momentum, and we're entering into a new phase for PBAC, and it'll be fun. We're going to be moving quickly, so that's really great. I appreciate everyone's willingness to continue in those roles. Okay, our next item is under presentations and discussions, and for that, we have Dr. Jeff Langman here to give us an update on his project. We'll turn time over to him.
Thank you, everyone. Really appreciate the invite. Introductions, Isaac is my new PhD student, joined us in late May, getting up to speed. We are in our outreach phase, so I was going to let him kind of go over a real brief overview of what we've started to do. Oh, sure. The initial process, we have another student working on it, was consolidation of all the different databases, IDWR, Sean Bushes, and what we could define locations in our target zone that is now mapped, and derive what we think was hopefully a current list of households, and then have started outreach. But I do request, we do need PBAC's help. This is a lot of wells. I've never tried to get that many region, so very good.
Jeff, do you want to have a discussion on what that support looks like and really specifically how we provide that before, or do you want to do that after the presentation?
Let's do it after, because I actually don't know what ISIS can show us.
Thanks, Jeff.
This could go horribly awry.
Okay, well, yeah, Isaac Hall, PhD student working with Dr. Jeff Langman at University of Idaho on a project that is, this is plus.
You can use the mouse and move that stuff around.
Oh, well, wrong next thing. I can't see under this box, I'm sorry.
Do you want me to move it?
You can just minimize that entirely.
Yeah. I would skip that. Oh, skip this? Yeah. Okay, yeah, this is just an introduction slide on the project, but I believe you probably kind of know a lot about this. Come back through over here. Yeah, this is just our map of the area. We're studying the recharge zone, which is at the Moscow Mountain, the sediments not going deep into the salts. So what we're doing is we're doing the isotope delta 18 oxygen and delta 2 hydrogen for showing the signature where the source of the water is, and trying to help us. Gosh, can't see what I wrote. Sorry about that.
Where it probably says something like, where are the recharge zones?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
that's what
So we're trying to find out where is fast and slow recharge, and we're combining 3 different analysis, which is the isotope of oxygen, hydrogen, and water, which has been used. Oh, there it goes. Yeah. It comes, and the second method is chlorofluorocarbons and sulfur hexafluoride, which they're man-made, primarily man-made compounds. They all started showing up around the 1950s, early on the hairsprays, refrigerants. They became widespread in the atmosphere. We can track the age of the water based on matching the concentrations. So we still have charts at which types were most present at what years. But there isn't much difference that we can track here. So what we're trying to add a new methodology in our study right now is using PFAS, forever chemicals, as another sort of age indicator of water. So they're man-made, they're recent in the past 100 years. There's a diverse range of years at which they are first introduced into the atmosphere and the water cycle everywhere. So we have sort of, we're going to be looking at 25 to up to 40 different PFAS compounds, and we're going to try to use the detection of those PFAS as an indicator of the water being at least that many years old. So if we go back in Teflon, if it contains Teflon, we know it's within this range of use, 1938 to today, but there's some EFPS, 2002 is when it came out. So if we don't see that, we can sort of determine that it's younger or older based on which PFAS compounds show up in the water.
First to mention Anatech in town, their PFAS supplier, and they're going to multiple methods with our initial sample to try and get us the biggest speed and drive detections down. So Anatech's been really good so far. Yeah. So, that's the compounds. So, what we've done already and what we're still on to do, we've done some GIS work screening the area that we're going to sample. We've arranged agreements for analysis with University of Washington for isotope, Anatech Labs local for the PFAS, and University of Miami for CFC and SF6. We have our prospective well list created that we found on the IDWR database. We sent flyers out to every address that we found. Still waiting for responses. Most people probably just toss them in the trash, unluckily for us. But we do have the first batch of sampling to be scheduled. We have about 5 wells that already contacted the landowners, went out to them, shook their hands, they agreed to the study. And with our next steps, we need better landowner outreach. It's been a challenge for me to find contact information for the landowners other than just a name and address. And along with that is just more access to sample locations, permission to use their wells. So here's our area of interest. We're looking to have at least 50 wells, hopefully up to around 70 different well samples in this recharge apron zone around Moscow Mountain. This is where alluvial sediments are and where most of the water is going down into the aquifer. And we're looking for well depths at around 200 feet. We don't want to be too shallow, and we're not going deep enough that we're punching into basalt bedrock. So this is my prospective well list. I also have it organized in a form I can send out later, but the green highlighted ones are the addresses that we already got permission. And as you can see, there's a lot of places we don't have permission and haven't even heard anything back yet. So it's sort of hard to find contact information other than a name and address on the IDWR database. And a lot of the wells on there, they don't seem to align exactly with the address listed with the ones I have found, that sometimes it just says a mile east of Paradise Road when it was actually this address that the landowner met us at. And yeah, we're just lacking channels to contact the landowners. So any help, any kind of outreach, any way that I can get face to face with them or something like that. So initially, anytime he gets, we call it the site survey. Someone actually responds, goes out, checks out the site, makes sure it actually works, does introductions and then that. And then it is, you know, so-and-so, you know, down the road, you know, down the road. Not as willing that, but I know many of you know or have some sort of relation. So the idea would be either if you're willing to contact them on our behalf, or you have contact information that we can name drop and do it that way, or something that provides a little bit more of a personal connection. It's the only way we're gonna really get it going.
Are you to a point you want to talk about the specifics on this, or?
I would say we can. I would ask, I don't know, it's up to you, Tyler, but I would say if everyone could review the list, identify those that they have some sort of connection to, contact us to tell us which ones, and then how you would like.
Does this represent the entirety of the list, or is this a snapshot of a greater list?
This is the entirety of the list of well owners that we are able to cross-reference from the IDWR database to wells. We looked at the drill logs that they go through stuff that we want sediment, granite, we don't want any basalt in the well. And then once the
So these are our target locations.
These are primary
Are these,
right
these look like they're listed geographically. Is it at all possible to get a prioritized list just so
There
that,
was a prioritized list.
okay, we've got that.
I have that in another file
Yeah.
on the drive. We can open up.
And
that.
it had names of landowners as well.
Okay.
We just have names for those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Cause if we have names, that's easier for me.
Yeah, I think,
Yeah,
that-
some of those.
yeah, I think between you and Paul, we're gonna have the best luck hitting some of these.
We're driving Saturday, knock on doors.
Yeah, I mean, you're gonna get more traction than any of us, if that's possible.
Yeah.
That's a good question. What is the commitment to the landowner? The initial survey is very brief, could be 5 to 15 minutes. It depends on how much they want to talk about things. It's just us kind of checking out the well to make sure it works, because there are certain requirements on a sampling connection. And then it is, what questions do they have? And then we have to describe that we do have to kind of turn over the well before we do the sampling. And then we haven't done a sampling yet. It will speed up, but I would expect a sampling is a minimum of an hour, likely an hour and a half.
So Chad's indicated a willingness to go around on a Saturday and accompany someone. If someone could go along, who could technically explain it, and he helps get us through the door, would that be helpful?
Horses.
Sure. We've not gone on to any private properties because we don't want him getting shot.
Yeah,
I'll go first.
This is your guarantee you don't get shot.
So,
yeah, we could do that.
Isaac?
Yes.
Okay, I owe you an email, because I think I had like 25 or 30 identified, so I need to follow up. So we should just schedule some time to sit down together. I've got a couple ideas on additional contact information.
Okay.
You know, that we can pull off a couple other list. The county assessor has some additional contact information.
We did check them against the county assessor.
Did you?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because a lot of it's from IDW or well logs, which are old names, and we updated according to the county assessor.
I've got a couple ideas on getting phone numbers.
So what's gonna be, I guess what I'd like to leave today with is a clear path forward for how we're gonna do that. So it sounds like maybe it'd be best if you connect with Paul, you guys clean the list up with the knowledge that you've got, Paul, and any connections that you think you can make. And then Isaac, if you could make sure and get Chad's contact information and coordinate, he could help with some direct interface and get us through the door.
Steve Robichaud.
Steve, did you have something you wanted to add?
I just had a question about whether or not they had referred to the John Bush wells, because he's gone out and exhaustively located and interpreted all the well logs that he could find. And a lot of times the locations that he actually physically visited are a lot better than what you get in the IDWR database.
Yeah, they've all been cross-referenced with John's database.
Okay, good.
So I think that'll probably help us get a lot more, is if you guys can connect, and then if you can connect with Chad. I think that, Paul and Chad are gonna be our best resource to help knock some of that stuff out.
So can you send me that other list again?
The prioritized list.
It's gonna resend it to Mike to distribute to everyone.
Yeah. And then also the collateral that you are sending out, the information.
The flyer.
The flyer.
Yeah.
Flyer's pretty good.
Yeah. I think I may have seen it, but
We'll make sure
that
you got the most recent version.
Thank you.
Let me send out.
Great.
The other is, we'll see how this goes, and then if I could check back maybe in months.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
I know how we're doing.
Yeah.
And I would actually ask, I've never done it. I'd like to present at the water conference.
That's been discussed.
We had you penciled in.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe if you're not.
Surprise.
We're not giving you the.
Thanks.
Yes. Yeah, there it is.
Can you share that with Mike as well?
Yeah, Jeff, I mean, we know that, largely the success of this is contingent on getting some wells. And so I'd really like to make sure that we use whatever collateral we have to get you guys the connections you need to make this work.
No, we appreciate anything. Our first cross-reference was UI people in the zone. We got one that maybe 2 responses. We did work with county extensions that they have a really broad distribution, but kind of a big scatter shot.
Okay.
You guys have the personal connections that we think can maximize the most.
We leverage social media somehow.
I think that might be worthwhile. I think.
I asked you.
Yeah.
Gotta say when it's time.
Yeah.
Is it time?
Social media.
Is it time?
It's time
For social media?
Sure. Anything right now. Our goal is 25 identified wells within the next month and a half. Hopefully getting those sampled before the holidays. Then we pick up after winter starts to wane a little bit to do the next 25.
If we did have a question about the flyer, whether we put it on social media or offer it at tabling events and whatnot, it has your phone number on it.
That's fine. It's my office.
I think it has Isaac's phone
Yeah.
number.
Well, it's like, I was just curious if there's like a
So if you want,
professional email, 'cause this is like, does that matter? Do you care?
that's what it is.
So that is my student email because I didn't have access to my staff email at the time. I have to go through IT. I do have a staff email, but I can edit the flyer, I suppose.
We will host and distribute it, whatever is best for you.
So if you want to edit it to the other email before we distribute, let us know.
This is your phone number and your contact information, just kind of anybody that, if you're fine with that, that's what we'll do.
I'm fine. It's work. I mean, my staff email is a lot easier to, remember and write down.
So if you want
to edit that and then send us the edited version so that we have the email that you want to use.
Yeah, for sure.
So, okay.
Okay, so just so we're all clear on the action items, then Paul will connect with you. You'll reach out and get in touch with him, and then you'll connect with Chad and he'll help out with the ones that he might be able to snag. And then you'll send us an updated flyer with the updated email, and we will post that out to socials, and then we'll redistribute the prioritized list with the digital collateral, the updated digital collateral to the whole committee, and we'll all take a look at it and see if there's others on there that we can snag. Does that sound like a reasonable course of action?
And we'll see you in September.
Mr. Chair, I would also suggest we consider a press release. And this is positive.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good idea, Paul.
Groundwater study. It's PBAC, some visibility as well as university.
Is that something you think you can get a draft?
Yeah, so maybe Aaron and I could wink, wink.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah, just simple one, but make sure we have this up. I think not listing addresses in that, but
yes,
this is really nice.
Yes, if you're in this zone, we want you.
Yeah, so if you have this like in a digital, I'm not sure how we can post it.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. No, I think that's really cool.
Okay, I like the press release too. So Aaron, you and Paul can work on press release and we'll get that going. Perfect. Any other ideas? Thank you guys for coming. Really appreciate it.
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
Yeah, Isaac, so a little more background about you. Did you study undergraduate here too?
No, I did my associates at Pasadena City College in California. Then I did my bachelor's at University of Wyoming. And I went back to California, Cal State LA to do my master's in my associates and bachelor's are both geology. My master's was hydrogeology, and I'm up here in Wyoming, not in Idaho, for my PhD with Jeff.
Great. Well, welcome to Idaho.
Yeah.
Welcome to Wyoming.
Idaho.
Usually people say Iowa, so.
Yeah. Better.
Great. Well, thanks for your work on this.
Good to have you.
Thank you. Nice meeting you.
Thanks to meet you. And how do I?
We close your presentation.
Yeah, let me just
get that there.
You can't have it back, sorry.
Checked.
There you go.
All right. We're gonna move on. Our next presentation discussion is on the Clearwater diversion study. You'll recall that we have contracted, the city of Moscow is administering that project on PBAC's behalf. We've contracted with HDR Engineering for that project. We have the $182,500 that we're already under contract for from the Idaho Division of Water Resources, the Idaho Water Resource Board. and then PBAC has committed 186,925 for the project to get it done, plus any contingency. So yeah, we are kicked off and moving along. Mike, is there any specific updates that we want to give on this?
So there's been some quite a bit of activity actually with the outreach group from HDR. They've talked to some of us individually, and they met with the communications subcommittee, and I don't want to get ahead of myself, but also Scott King from HDR was with the technical subcommittee earlier this afternoon, and Scott is actually on the line.
Yeah.
We will go over what we talked about, but if Scott, you want to introduce yourself to the full committee? You available?
Yeah, you betcha. Can you hear me? Just making sure.
Yep, we got you.
Okay, out in the field, I've just been measuring water and standing in a stream while I've been listening to you, so I wanted to make sure we're still connected.
You're having a way better time than us.
Project engineer. Yeah, I am. Kenny Creek, it's a beautiful place up in the Lemhi Valley.
That's the most creative description of fishing I've ever heard, Scott.
Yeah, I wish. It's only running about 3.8 CFS, so there's not a lot of fish to be caught right now that are worth it. Project engineer for HDR. I worked for the Department of Water Resources for about 15 years before going into consulting, and I've been working on water rights for the last, I think it's 20 years in consulting. So I'm here to help with the water rights process for the project.
Great, thanks, Scott. So yeah, we'll cover more of what we've done up to this point in our subcommittee reports, which is our next item. So we can go ahead and just jump into that. I'll cover the communication subcommittee we met this week. We had the representatives from the project team, as Mike mentioned, and really just discussed our preliminary outreach. And so we are working on getting the first SEG meeting scheduled. And so we'll be sending out some options for that SEG meeting and trying to get as many people. We'll send out a poll and trying to pick a date. It's never going to work for everybody, but work for as many as can. Our commitment to the SEG that we made at last fall's meeting, you'll recall, was that once we had a consultant on board that we would reconvene. And really, it was a good meeting. We had a really good discussion about how we can capitalize on that group and their connections and really deputize them to help us disseminate information about the project. And then we also discussed our meeting with the Nez Perce tribe. Our commitment to the Tribal Executive Council was that with any significant development, we would reconnect with them, and then we come down at least twice a year with formal presentations to the tribe. I reached out to the tribal staff who have been assigned to this, and they responded pretty quickly that they were sure that the executive committee would be interested in hearing from us at this juncture. So they are going to discuss that with the executive committee and send us some potential dates in the coming months for us to meet with them. We'd really like to get the meeting with the tribal executive committee. We always want them to get the information from us directly and early. And so that's something that we want to get out there. And then also with our SEG. So with the coming, what we discussed is the water summit was kind of our backstop. We don't want to be out there disseminating a bunch of information at the summit that we haven't talked to our key stakeholders about. And so we really want to get in front of the tribal executive council and get in front of the SEG prior to the water summits. We're able to give them that information. And I think we should be able to do that. So yeah, it was a good, productive meeting. Anything else from communication subcommittee meeting that we should cover, Mike?
What about Olivia? You want to talk about that?
Oh yeah, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Oh yeah. Okay. So we met with a couple weeks ago. Olivia from the president's office, the state village manager, reached out to Mike and I and wanted to talk about us collaborating as had been done in the past with their regional or their water conservation plan for the University of Idaho. And she, we thought it'd be best if she just went to the subcommittee meeting and kind of got a better idea of who's all kind of leading the charge on regional water messaging. And it was, the idea was floated that maybe we can all collaborate, all entities, U of I, WSU, City of Moscow, City of Pullman, on a regional water conservation plan that we would host on our website. They're transitioning at U of I to more like behind login wall style websites, and it's gonna be just a lot easier for us to kind of not only have that regional water conservation plan be funneled to us. As so it's gonna be super to have, you know, a similar thing going on at WSU because we don't have that counterpart with that. And so what we're hopefully trying to do is identify a couple people that we can kind of just continue to follow with Olivia on and collaborate.
So yeah, the idea was that we would have from each entity collaborate, because what the U of I wants to take the lead on through the sustainability office is having centralized messaging and collateral that's going out. So it's a lot of conservation messaging that we centralize, and so and having PBAC play host to that, which is great because, you know, all of the entities driving traffic to our website as we're trying to disseminate information about the alternate water supply, I think is really great, and having that be conservation messaging also is really great. So there have been preliminary meetings with Kelly Cooper and my staff. We've already had a lot of coordination with Sean and his staff at the city of Pullman on our conservation plan updates. And so I think that this kind of can be a really logical and natural next step. So we have staff from PBAC, from the city of Moscow. Sean, would you envision on your end, Kristen, stepping into that role, that coordination for the outreach piece?
Yes.
Okay. We'll reach out with specifics and send that your way, and we can coordinate on that. WSU, is there somebody that you can think of that would
probably me?
Okay. All right. We'll send it to you, and then if you happen to find someone else, but otherwise, I think it sounds like a really good opportunity. And then I think really bringing that messaging together so that all of us are sharing the same messaging going out, and also having the synergy of those communication resources all working together. So, you know, Kelly's not creating a post over here and there's duplicate efforts going on with Sean's staff, and then also at the U of I and WSU. If we can get that synergy, develop the stuff, and then we all just push it out on our channels, but then having that all funnel back into PBAC and our website, I think makes a ton of sense.
I think that's the whole point of PBAC, is to kind of have a message for the whole basin.
Yep. Okay, well, that's exciting. So yeah, we're gonna be, you'll hear from us. We're working on that.
Regional coordination, I love it.
Yeah, look at us go.
What?
Okay.
The one other thing is a short update on the PBAC document library.
Oh, right.
So Lana found the right person to talk to, and she made that introduction. And so what I envision is that the PBAC document library will be hosted and organized by UI, and the PBAC website will direct folks to that. And it will also, Meg, I see you're here, so this is news to you, but it's a moving target. Will be integrated with the Idaho Water Research Database that they're also putting together. And then if we get a counterparty WSU, you know, we go there as well.
Okay.
So
awesome.
But it'll be, the PBAC stuff will be hosted by UI, and the PBAC website will direct folks to that.
Any questions for communication subcommittee? All right, we'll go technical and then circle back to the budget, since we've got an action item in the budget subcommittee. So Jeff, technical update?
I will attempt to summarize technical committee. We started the conversation with Scott King from HDR just to talk about how his process is going and how we can support that. Scott fielded a couple questions about how those water rights might take shape, in particular, how the tribe might want to be part of that discussion, and what the water right for Moscow might look like if there's the possibility of sharing water with across state lines at some point. It's a very broad overview of the discussion. What I forget?
I think
Water
that's good
for recharge.
Yeah, and how and if and how water recharge fits into that mix as well.
That's important.
Yes.
Wow. New to me, or important to me. Yeah.
Anything to add there, Mike?
No, I think it was good.
Great. Any questions for technical? All right, let's get on to the media item, which is the budget. So our fiscal year is July 1st through June 30th. Mike has sent out the budget information in this packet. And so I'm gonna kick this over to Rusty and Mike and let you guys tee this one up for everybody. And then our goal is to have this end in a vote on the PBAC budget.
Okay, so we've mentioned the last few months that the forecast for spending this year is quite a bit higher than our revenue. And that's due primarily to two things. One is the HDR project supplement that PBAC has pledged. And the other is the funding for the passive aquifer research project that Dr. Langman and Isaac were just talking about. And given that our spending will probably be double our revenue, we need to keep a sharp pencil and really look at it. So the committee received a pretty detailed budget. There was some feedback. I responded to that as best as I can. I also distributed just a real high level summary. But anyway, those are the numbers. Something I want to call out, I don't want to feel like it's buried in the budget or anything. But I have proposed to add a half-time year-round water conservation project coordinator position, which Erin has indicated she's interested in serving in this role on a half-time basis full year. And I'm only asking for this for 1 year right now. See how it goes. I think that this program has become very important. So this is my proposal. But I also want the committee to be aware that AmeriCorps is back. And it might be possible that in a few months we say, let's not have this be a staff position. Let's have this be an AmeriCorps member. I don't know right now. I honestly don't know, but I don't want anybody to form the view that I'm.
Well, just some additional commentary with that is this would also be what we would identify as an intermittent help or temporary help position. So it does allow us the flexibility to, we could start the position tomorrow or we could let it go tomorrow. So this allows us to be a little nimble as the financial landscape changes, if AmeriCorps does come online, or if we're tracking throughout the fiscal year and we've reevaluated the budget to call for a different decision to be made.
So I don't have a recommendation on that now, but it is possible that discussion might come up later this fall. That position is in the budget. Otherwise, there's not a whole lot of different. Most of our expenses are pretty fixed. We will be vacating the Moscow chamber office at the end of next month. It's $150 a month. I think it would go up to $165 a month. But money is money, and but we would have to store our water outreach materials at a rate of $50 a month. So there's a little bit, but there's really not very much to push and pull from. So that's Rusty. What have I left out?
No, I think overall, I mean, if you've seen the budget, I know we had a few questions. It's pretty business as usual, other than the two larger charges that Mike explained. And I mean, I think we're tracking well over the course. I think we've done a good job. These two projects will also allow us to spend down some of the war chest. I think this year is unique, and the next year will be a little bit more focused. Yeah. And so there were no concerns on our end from a budget standpoint, and I think we're tracking business as usual.
Great. And just as a reminder for everybody, you know, the historic pressure that we've had hasn't been to save up more money. It has been to expend the funds that we've been collecting. They're collected for a reason, and we've had significant pressure to make sure that we have a spending plan, that these are monies that are supposed to be going to something. And so this is a good thing. It's going toward it. And as Rusty mentioned, I agree that, like, as we get through this phase of the alternate supply study, we're gonna have some real focused work that's gonna be happening. Mike and I were contacted this week by the Idaho Water Resource Board, asking for the specific numbers of PBAC's commitment. I think they're happy that there's local skin in the game with what they've put into it, and that also includes water monies from the Washington side of the border. So I think that that's positive on a lot of fronts, that we're spending those funds toward what we're supposed to be spending those funds toward. Any questions for Rusty and or Mike about the budget?
Note is invoices are starting to go out for.
Invoices went out yesterday.
Yep. And so
yeah,
if you haven't seen that, check your email.
I wanted to get them out before the meeting.
All right. I believe Sean had a hand up.
I do, yeah. The part-time water conservation coordinator position would be in theory, a U of I staff.
Yes, it would. So Erin right now is the U of I staff, water temporary help is her.
So is this request then just continuing that position, or is it a new position that would need to be recruited for?
So Erin has indicated that she'd be interested in continuing in the position if that is as we expect.
I think he broke up a little. I think Sean's question was, would it be an extension of this existing position, or is it something that is a new position that we then have to recruit for?
Correct.
Would be an extension, but at 20 hours a week instead of 35.
Got it. Thank you.
Seems to be a couple of months back, we had a discussion about what we consider to be a reasonable reserve to maintain. What was the conclusion of that?
No.
Was there a conclusion?
No, I was gonna say, that's what I was trying to say. No conclusion. I think that's part of just the general overall was getting the budget approved where we're at and looking what a reasonable amount of cash on hand is. I mean, the thing about where we're at is our administrative costs are fixed and they come in based on the fees committed by the entities. So we know that we're not at a declining resource. I mean, those will come in and take care of it. With that said, though, should something happen or change at WSU, U of I, city in the cities, is how long of a runway would we want to give if a reasonable expectation if we terminated funding and wanted to continue the program until a new resource was carried.
And that's something that I think with the budget committee, it'll be a good charge for us in this upcoming year is to come up with some financial rules for the committee that just haven't been as formally fleshed out. You know, like for example, utilities, typically you're looking at a 90-day operating cost that you keep on hand. I think something like that might be really reasonable for us to implement as a budgetary rule. And so I think that's something that as a committee, we can work on formalizing before we bring a budget next year.
Okay.
Any other questions about the budget? If not, I would welcome a motion for approval for our budget.
Motion to approve fiscal year 25-26 budget for PBAC as proposed.
Thanks, Sean. I have a motion from Sean. I got a second from Kyle. All those in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, that motion carries. Thank you, everybody. That moves us on to agenda item number 8. I'm going to kick this one over to Paul. This is our Water Summit announcement.
Thank you. Yes, we have landed on a date, October 28th. It's a Tuesday, so I'm hoping Pullman City Council doesn't have a meeting that week. We'll try and get ahead of that so they don't schedule a council meeting that night. We'll be at the Schweitzer Event Center. Our keynote is Daniel Rothberg. Daniel is an environmental writer. He's published in the New York Times, Bloomberg, Sierra Magazine, High Country News, and really focusing on groundwater. He has a Substack where he contributes pretty regularly called Western Water Notes. But
I've seen it.
Very delightful man. We've had some nice conversations, and the exciting part is that he's not very expensive. Because he's working on another degree at the moment at UC Davis, I think. So again, we needed a summit where we didn't have to spend $10K on our keynote.
What was that date again?
October 28th. And
Mr. Kimmel.
Yes.
That is a council meeting. It's our Metro Parks meeting. I encourage you to reach out to Mayor Benjamin.
Okay. Thanks, Sean. We'll do.
Thank you.
The other thing too is we're going to start earlier in the afternoon. Again, we've kind of have found we lose our audience by about 6:37. So we're gonna start, what did we think, Mike?
3 to 7.
3 to 7.
Said.
Yeah, so okay.
That would be great.
Kind of the usual content, state of the basin. We'll have Chairman Wheeler, we hope, as well as our mayors. We'll get weather reports. We've got a couple, Dr. Langman, and a few others kind of updates. So we have a pretty good agenda set up already. So Aaron and Mike are attending and part of our Water Summit Planning Committee. So good, things are coming together really well.
Great. Any questions for Paul on the summit?
Yes, and I will be sending out invoices ASAP.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Great. That's exciting. That's been such an incredible tool for outreach in the basin. Yeah. People know about it. The only thing I have to add to that conversation is I had a conversation with Neely Miller with the Idaho Water Resource Board. Some of you may know that the governor's office eliminated their northern representative position that Jake had filled.
Yeah.
And so we won't see Jake anymore. And we've been in discussions with him about the potential for a governor's water summit hosted up here in the northern regions, which I think would be great. In my discussion with Neely, I asked him where that conversation was left off in that transition. He's going to circle back with me, and I've got a conversation with the governor's office as well. I'll let them know that we've already got the water summit. There's already a lot of infrastructure in place with that. So if they wanted to potentially co-locate, we'd love to have the governor up for that. So anyway, I should hear back from them and have a report at next month's meeting about where that's headed. But it sounded like there was still an interest in having a Northern Region Water Summit. So,
and I will see the Lieutenant Governor 2 weeks.
You might mention it to him.
Yeah, I will mention. It'd be nice to have him since he is really leading.
And because he hosted the last Governor's Water Summit, and he was very involved. So that'd be great.
And Paul, you know that he's updated because he was at the Ada County Water Summit.
Okay.
So he was at he's fully updated.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you.
Been very involved.
And then the other invitation I've extended is Casey Sixcoller, the Director of Department of Environmental Quality for the state of Washington. Very nice.
Sorry, Department of Ecology.
Ecology, DEQ, sorry. Ecology. I always get you mixed up. Sorry.
No worries.
Thanks, Patrick.
Yeah, Patrick. Yep. Sorry.
Keeping you honest, Paul. That's it.
Hey, you know how to keep Paul honest. You need to send me some notes. All right. Any other announcements anyone has before we wrap this up?
Just a little bit of outreach now.
Yeah, please.
Okay, so to earn my keep very much for the budget vote, just kidding. So I got these numbers up because we went to the Blaisdell County budget request thing a couple weeks ago, so I figured it might be nice to share it. There's the only person that's heard it was Mike and Tom. Tom's here. So since January, PBAC's done approximately 27 outreach, education, and tabling events. We're reaching ages 2 to 70, and the bulk of it is in Latah County with Moscow, Genesee, Troy, and Deary. And through August, we have another 12 scheduled. So I don't have the numbers of what was done in the last year, but we've reached about we average maybe 15 to 20 per event. Tabling is a little wonky, but it's a lot of people that we're talking to, and they're pretty much new faces all the time with the exception of a few. So just to let you know that we're getting out in the community, and summer's just as slated.
Aaron, has there been any on the Washington side, and do we have some scheduled on the Washington side?
I do have some scheduled on the Washington side. We're going to the Neal Public Library in August. I've got one with the Luce Science Discovery Center. It's just efforts are kind of a little bit just more challenging to get over on the Washington side. I'm on the wait list for the Lentil Festival. So the effort is there. It's like a lack of
for tabling, Aaron?
Huh?
For tabling?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, waitlisted. Yeah, we're 9. They're pretty booked up. And I tried to email and suggest maybe that we could, I don't know, they could give us a shot, but I haven't heard anything back. So I've been trying to get into Whitman County. It's just a little bit difficult. There's not as much engagement I'm finding.
Sean or Kara, would there be any possibility at a City of Pullman table for PBAC to have a small slot at the Lentil Festival? It's okay to say no.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, no, they can't do that. No. I'm kidding. No, I don't know. That's gonna be controlled by the chamber. So we'll have to go and look at that.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Anything else, Aaron?
Well done.
Yeah,
Yeah,
good job.
sure.
Yeah, those, I mean, it's one of those that we just keep plinking away at, and a little by little, conversation by conversation, it's amazing to me in the last 10 years in my involvement to see how many more people are aware of what's going on than when I started. It's just a lot of small efforts like that that make a big difference. Okay, our next meeting is scheduled for August 21st. We're getting into the real significant updates on project. This is fun. So thank you, everybody. Appreciate everyone attending. And with that, we would entertain a motion for adjournment.
So move.
All right, we're done. Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.
Hey, for that,
Thanks, all.
working on the.
Thanks, everybody. Welcome back, Mike.
It's engagement with.
The market.
Thank you.
Or share the road bicycling. So
When you find me, I would go down with you.
That.
I'd call the tribal members.